What's up, alphas, and welcome to our next alpha interview. Today, we're talking to Lindsey from Silver Dragon Keepsakes. Lindsey, do you want to share with the alphas a little bit about what you sell?
Okay, I sell these paper flower shadow boxes. So everything is handmade. The flowers, I cut them out with my Cricut machine. I hand roll them, I glue them together, then I glue them to the backs of the shadow boxes, and then I have all different designs on the front, on the glass. I also make these like 3D paper shadow boxes where I have, I just released my spring collection last month. It was called Spring's Garden. It's actually available in my Etsy shop right now. It has like all designs available for spring, and then I had some for Easter from yesterday, and then actually don't have them listed, but I do have designs available for Mother's Day.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll throw a couple photos up on the screen during the recording so they can see everything that you create. But I think that your products are they're really unique, and they're really interesting, and they're really giftable, which I think is a great advantage that you have, where most people that are buying them, I'm assuming, are getting them for things like gifts and anniversaries and like you said, Mother's Day.
Right. Actually, I just had an order a couple of weeks ago. Her daughter just bought her first house. And I have this one design where it says "Love makes a home."
Aww.
And it has the GPS coordinates of where the house is.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like, she knew it was going to be like a perfect gift. She was just waiting for an occasion to buy one of my shadow boxes. So she's been like, she admires them a lot.
That's great. That's great. So she had you in her back pocket. She was waiting for that purchase. That's awesome. So I can't exactly remember. I feel like you've either been in HAA for a while, or you've at least been in the community for a while, because I feel like I've known you for a long time.
I've been in HAA probably for about maybe a year and a half, close to 2 years.
Okay.
Maybe a little longer. I can't remember exactly when I purchased HAA, but it's been like an amazing experience. I haven't even gotten through the whole course yet, but it's helped tremendously.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So what made you decide to join HAA? Because like I said, I'm pretty sure you were in the community before you joined, right?
I think so, yes. I think
I'm pretty sure.
Joined the community to see like what previous alphas like experiences were with the academy, and I was like, this is it. I've got to do this. It's gonna be nothing but great for my business.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So obviously your products, I mean, I'm sure they take a decent amount of time, especially making all of your flowers by hand.
Yes.
At this point, what do you think the hardest part of your business is so far?
Finding out what my customers actually are looking for, as far as like what designs to make and popular colors of like the season or at the time. Just pretty much like any color cardstock you can think of, like it's available in the store. So I have like endless options to choose from. And
yeah,
I know
absolutely.
It's not exactly easy to like pick out like maybe like 2 or 3 like colors that you want to use. So it's like I'm always like debating, should I use this color? Should I use this color? It's like it's never an easy choice.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have to also spend a lot of time kind of keeping an eye on trends. I think once you start a business, like, I don't know, before a business, I never walked around a store and like I never took note of colors that I saw that would pop up and that I would see everywhere. And now I'll look around and I'll be like, oh my God, everything in here is purple.
Yes. I know. I've taken notice of that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you take a lot of, do you find yourself like noticing those color trends, since that's what your business is all about?
I do. And it's such like, I don't know how to describe it, but it opened your eyes to like, oh, like this isn't just like colors thrown on the shelf. It's like there's a reason behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another big thing. God, what module is it? Module 2? of HAA where we start going into the color psychology. I think that it would be really cool to be in a business or an industry where color was such a huge part of what you create, because you can make products that have that psychological appeal as well, knowing what all of those colors represent to human emotions. Because
Right.
I mean, all of your products, I feel like you can look at them and you can tell what season they're catered to. You can kind of identify the target customer there. And I think it makes it really interesting.
Yes.
So what would you tell somebody who maybe they're in the same, general industry as you? We'll say, I don't know, we'll say shadow boxes, not necessarily the same type that you make, but maybe they make shadow boxes and they are thinking about, putting themselves out there and starting an online business, but they're super duper nervous, or maybe they're, not super confident about their products. What would you tell somebody like that?
I would probably tell them, just go for it. I mean, that's pretty much what I did. When I started my Etsy shop, I was like, I've always wanted to own my own handmade business, and I think this is maybe about a year or so after my son was born, I started getting the legal aspect of it done, my name trademarked and everything. I was like, all right, there's gonna be no perfect time to do it, so just go for it. You'll never know unless you try. Put yourself out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I know how scary it is, taking those first,
Oh, yeah,
those first big steps.
Completely terrifying. I was absolutely terrified that it's all right, so what if I don't make it? But I'm the kind of person with the mindset, there is no option to fail. I'm in this for the long run.
That's awesome. What would you say the hardest part about starting was?
Well, so when I first started, I was doing making my products were pretty much all over the place. And then when I started HAA, I realized that I really have to niche down. So that's because I was doing T-shirts, I was doing, and I was in the meantime, I was also making gifts for family and friends. But I was all right, I have to really niche down, because you've always said, if you appeal to everybody, or you'll appeal to nobody.
Yes.
So I was all right, I have to niche down. How can I do that? And then so I was looking on Etsy. I was all right, I like these shadow boxes. How can I put my own spin on it? And that's when I came to do the rolled flower shadow boxes, and the 3D layer designs in the shadow boxes. It really stemmed from that. I have to niche down and make one type of product, and it just grew from there.
That's awesome. And I think that that's one of the things that, especially when we're talking, we don't do a lot of one-on-one work, but when we're doing our live critique sessions on the Friday Bean, and we're talking to alphas who create it's almost like a commodity shop. When you go to a corner gas station somewhere and they just have everything under the sun, you don't feel a whole lot about their brand because you don't know exactly what they want to be known for. And when I see your shop, I know that the products are meant for almost emotional moments. It's you're almost giving an experience for these products, because when someone opens that, if they're receiving it as a gift, when they open one of your shadow boxes, they're going to feel so many things. I'm sure that that's one of those products that if I received it, I would cry, just because it's always going to mean something, because you're not just catering, you're not creating an everyday gift thing. You're creating it's almost like a benchmark gift.
Yeah.
When they hit, getting the new home, like you said, weddings, anniversaries. I'm sure you could give me even more examples, but they're all going to. What was that?
I've actually made quite a number of pet memorial shadow boxes where friends have come to me and asked me if I could make them one, and each time, even though it's not my pet, I still get very emotional when I'm making it. But And I know that the like the recipient of the shadow box, like they were very touched by it. So like it like just makes like doing everything so much more worthwhile, because I know that I'm making like getting over the loss of like that family pet like a little more easier for the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Have
know
you-
you guys just lost Eddie, and
Yeah. And do you have you thought about ever like leaning into that demand? Because I know a lot of people get nervous about leaning into a demand where it comes to things like, death of a loved one or death of a pet. But really, there are people out there who are looking for products like that. I'm wearing right now a nose print, Eddie's nose. And I remember when she passed away a couple weeks ago, like I was online just looking for things. So have you ever thought about marketing your products in that way, or leaning into that niche in particular?
eventually at some point I will. It's just that like I don't know if you know this, but I also work like I have a regular job outside of running my business. So then plus like raising my son. So it's like I work 3 full-time jobs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you guys know the tailors. So.
Oh yeah. And that was something that we just talked about in our last interview that we had, where, our last interview with, it was Mike from Valley Smithy, and he does blacksmith work. And he talked about how he does his job, but then sometimes he has 12-hour days working in blacksmith work. And I was just comparing that to, everybody has to spend that 24 hours that we talk about in HAA differently, because somebody who is able to spend 12 hours on their business versus somebody who has to break up, 5-minute increments because they have a child. And your son is young, right?
Yeah, he just turned 5 in January.
Yeah. I always see pictures that mainly he's in your profile picture, I think, but I always see you guys.
Yes, he's in kindergarten in the fall. I can't believe it.
Oh man, that's kindergarten is the thing that like it will break you when you ship him off, because you're like, oh my God, my baby. But
yeah, I'm taking those first days off of work. Like I'm putting for vacation. I'm like, I'm gonna be a mess.
Yeah, it's hard. But once you adjust and you realize that you've got those hours
And they're having fun.
Yeah, and they're enjoying themselves because kindergarten is super fun for them. It's like, oh, I can work. So do you have any big plans for when you have like that little chunk of time more open for you?
I'll probably sleep, because my hours, once he starts school, I'm going to be working 4 p.m. to midnight, because I work in a hospital in the lab. So sleeping like when I can, and then working on my business.
That's awesome. You realize that 4 of our interviews work in a hospital.
Yeah, 4 of 8 so far. Half of the interviews have been people that work in hospitals.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You're in lab. We had a nurse. We had a driver.
DMT driver. Yeah,
that's so crazy that so many alphas also work in hospitals. That's insane.
So if you could do your business all over again, go back to when you first started your business. Maybe what's something that you would tell yourself, or something that you would do differently the next time around?
To take a shortcut.
I know I've heard, like I've seen this question on like my other business groups that I'm a part of. I've never really actually thought about it. So the thing is, I would definitely do it. I would definitely get my business going. I would do get like all the legal stuff taken care of like I first did. I would probably learn SEO better, because like I'm like horrible at SEO. So I have your YouTube videos like on the back burner to watch.
Everybody's bad at SEO starting out.
Yeah, once you don't get it until you get it. Once you get it, you've got it.
I was bad at SEO for 5 years, and then I started working for eRank, and then I had to get real good at SEO real fast. So,
I had no choice.
yeah, I'm like, man, if I could go back, I would do all the same things that I did, but I would do them all like
a little bit faster.
A little faster, a couple years earlier. Because, like, where would we be if we all just started doing what we're currently doing, but we would have done it a couple years earlier? So
that would have definitely helped.
So let's say that you're talking to somebody and they're thinking about joining HAA. Maybe they're nervous, jumping into something so big. What would you tell someone based on your own personal experiences going through HAA to, inspire them or help them?
I would tell them, if you're not sure, watch Starla's YouTube videos. Get a feel, like if you get a feel for whether she's going to be like a coach that like you're gonna relate to. I know like you tell like all the alphas say that, but that would be my first big thing. Because I know you guys also you do the payment plans, which I believe I was doing when I signed up for HAA. Like if you're tight for money, that's always an option, the payment plans. And I always say that like your best investment is yourself, especially like if you're looking to start your own business, like definitely make that investment. Like you will not regret it. Like I said, I'm not even like probably a quarter of the way through the course, and I'm already seeing like such a big improvement. So
Yeah.
Go for the investment in yourself whenever you can. You're not going to regret it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we always tell everyone is that we have so much free content out there that I don't do a very good job of marketing my program just because I don't feel like I should have to push people towards it. If they're interested and they connect with my teaching style, then I think that we'll find each other. It will be fate, and some people are going to connect with me and my teaching style, and
some people aren't.
Some people aren't. And, that's okay. And I think that that's all good businesses. Nobody should feel forced to buy anything that other than like food and toilet paper. Nobody should feel forced to buy anything. Right. There are not very many common products that everybody has to buy. So if you feel forced to buy something, you're usually not going to be very happy with your purchase to begin with.
Right.
So, but Lindsey, thanks so much for hanging out. Do you have any like last words of wisdom? Anything motivational that you would like to share with our newbie alphas or, just maybe aspiring business owners before we sign off?
Always trust in yourself, trust in your instincts, and just go for your dreams. You'll always end up farther than where you started.
Oh,
I love it.
Mic drop. Boom. All right. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out for this interview. All of Lindsey's links are going to be down below so you can check her out. And thanks for joining us.